great. All go, no wait. Champion, no debate. First place, go play. Humble.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Humble Greatness in the building. And we are back real quick with another episode of Humble Talks Part 2. I'm going to talk a little bit lower because everybody is asleep right now in the house.
It's early.
It is a ridiculous early morning hour, but we're getting it done. So we're going to just talk a little bit more. I'm going to hand it over to Dad, and we're going to go from there.
Okay, I'm going to start with you, Angelo.
All right.
Growing up,
Yes.
what were give us some of your memories.
Well, one thing growing up was that my parents made it to absolutely everything. Every game. For sure, no matter what. No, hey, I'm at work or I couldn't make it. My parents made it to everything. And I think that that's one of the things as a kid that I didn't really realize until one of my close friends had complained after a game that his parents never came. And then I was like, well, my parents come to everything. So I've developed that into now my daughter being 7 years old. I go to everything she does. Never miss it. So I think I honestly think that that's one of my best memories for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
What is your best memory with Peter?
Man, going to his football games, man. Going to his football games. I remember middle school, the Lions, when they threw the pass and Pete caught it for the game-winning touchdown.
The first time in like 6 years they won a game. Not good.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I remember a lot of his high school games. We share those memories too. I remember the football game, Bethel, the punt return.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you guys about this punt return real quick. It's not just a normal punt return, right? So my brother's a senior. I'm a freshman. Do you remember the team we were playing at the time?
Ottawa.
Okay, so we're playing Ottawa. A team called Ottawa, right? We're at Bethel. They punt the ball. I remember blocking my guy. And I'm blocking my guy. He's, trying to get to Pete. And I remember Pete catching the ball. And I thought we had a wall set up for him. And Pete just runs straight into the crowd. So, there's all these guys, and then Pete just runs straight into the crowd. And I'm like, where are you going? There's nothing there. And I was walking off the field. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, you just hear the crowd just, and Pete comes right out of the crowd. And he starts running. Man, he runs, and he kind of cuts towards the sideline. And I remember diving in front of one guy because it was like Pete was trying to put the move on the guy, and I kind of just dive and just nick him like this, knock him out the way, and Pete touchdown. Yep.
Yeah.
That was definitely a great moment.
That was fun.
It was unbelievable. I remember in film we rewound that 10, 15 times. So that's definitely one of my best memories with Pete, for sure.
What's one of your best memories with him?
Best memories. Man.
That's a lot.
A lot of them were, of course, when we were younger. Usually just playing video games.
Yeah.
It's usually me, Angelo. Shouts out to Joe and shouts out to Danny.
Yeah.
And it's us four. And we'd always team up. It'd be me and Joe, because we were the same age. And then Angelo and Danny, because they were the same age. And we were playing 64. and we always play like Star Fox, or we play like Mario Kart, or we play like 007 GoldenEye. And me and Joe were always on team, and Angelo and Danny were always on teams, and just compete. And sometimes Joe and I would win, sometimes Angelo and Danny would win, but Angelo and I never really argued against each other. But Joe and Danny, they would forever argue, Those good times.
Yeah, it was.
So, at Bethel, what's your most memorable moment at Bethel?
At Bethel?
Yeah.
Man, probably get the heck out of there now. Nah, man, really just everything. I think it was one of those things that I'm gonna tell you this, what motivated me in college to play football with my brother, be good enough to play, was when I was in high school. We had a freshman at the time named Cedric Knowlton. And Cedric was just better than everybody, man. He is faster than everybody, stronger than everybody. And so he was able to play with his brother, J.R. Knowlton, right? And then I was on the freshman team. And then you got, Pete on the varsity. And I was like, I remember telling myself, I said, I need to train hard enough so when I get to college, I'll be able to play with my brother. Because I thought that was always cool, that he was able to do that. He was athletic enough to do that, right? So that's what motivated me. That's why I worked so hard in high school in the weight room and stuff, because I was like, man, when I get to college, I will play with my brother. Yeah. So.
And you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you, Bethel?
At Bethel.
Excuse me.
Probably like summer workouts. I remember I wanted to stay my freshman year, but you were like, no. My dad was like, no, you're coming home. I was like, all right. And then sophomore year, wanted to stay. But again, you were like, no, you're coming home. But something happened. I think it was like the car was broke or something like that. So you asked, you want to stay? I was like, yeah, I do. And I stayed. And that was fun because I was able to train with, the football guys. I got a summer job, so I was able to work, earn some money over the summer and just hang out. And after that, just stayed every summer. Was able to work out and play 7-on-7 and just overall just train and get better. Those were good times. Definitely.
With you, my memory would be we came up to watch the game, and you guys were playing Bethany.
Oh, yeah.
And so the announcers that were normally there, the young guys that were normally there weren't there. And so they had the Bethany guys do the announcement. Yeah, and they were saying, oh, yeah, and Bethel hasn't won in 25 years.
It was a long time.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I said, why are these guys are dogging us out, There was a guy sitting next to me, and he said, there's a guy on this team, man, and he's an amazing athlete. I said, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah. I said, well, it'll be an interesting game. Who is he? He says, Peter Garibaldi. I said, well, okay, well, I'll watch and see. So your mom's sitting by me, and she's like, why don't you tell him that you're Peter's dad? And I said, nah, he's having too much fun.
No.
So they kicked off, And on the kickoff, he ran the kickoff back. And he was going crazy. See, I told you, man. And I'm like, yeah. So this happens all through the game. At the end of the game, they threw you a pass in the end zone. You caught the pass in the end zone, and that won the game. He went nuts.
Yeah.
He was, oh God. So we get up, he's all pumped, and we get ready to leave, and we get up to walk out, and the president of the school walks down, and he says, "Hey, Mr. Garibaldi, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine." I shook his hand, and the guy was behind me, and he said, "Mr. Garibaldi." I turned around and I said, "Yes." He said, "So is that your son?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Man, you were having too much fun."
You're enjoying it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mess up your day. So that was it. And then with you, we were here, and I don't remember the team you guys were playing, but those two announcer guys, they were funny.
Yeah.
They were laughs. And so the score was, Bethel was up by 1 point. The other team had just scored, and they're going to go for 2 in the game. So they're doing the announcing and stuff, and they said, the ball's hand off to whoever the guy's number was, and he starts running around the right side and or left side. And when he runs around the left side, they're going, "Oh man, if he scores, they're gonna win by 1 point." And he says, "He's at the one. He's," and then Angelo tackles, knocks the guy out, and they went crazy.
Yeah.
Angelo Garibaldi, game-saving tackle, and I was like, "Oh man," and those were two things that stuck in my mind. It was just like, wow, that was really neat. And it's interesting because you don't get a lot of different. It was kind of neat for me because you guys, I remember at Cole, you were the varsity quarterback, and he was the JV quarterback.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just doesn't happen, And so there were a lot of different times with sports and stuff that's stuck in my mind, and it was really neat to see, to watch you guys, watch you grow,
Wow.
And I do have a question for you. So how did you meet your wife, Paris?
How did I meet Paris, man? At the time, I was a car salesman at the time. So everybody knows, man, car salesman hours are ridiculous. If you want to make some money, you're gonna have to put some hours into that line for sure.
Grind.
So, man, I was just looking for somebody to just hang out with, because when you start thinking about relationships and what people say, they're always like, marry your best friend, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, So really it was, she had came up to the car lot, I think, like a month or so ago, right? And we just kind of hung out. I remember she was trying to get a Camaro, and I was like, you don't need to do this. Yeah, right. Don't do that. Especially at the age, right? And I told her, I was like, it's not about the car payment. Your insurance is going to be outrageous.
Yeah.
Right? So, me and my roommate at the time, we were going out to eat. And so I remember sending her a message on Facebook and was like, hey, do you just want to hang out? You want to come? And she ended up showing up.
Nice.
And that was really it, from there. Yeah, just, hit it off. And I was like, man, I just want somebody that I can sit down with and just hang out with. So that's how that happened.
Good deal.
How did you meet Megan?
How did I meet Megan? Shout out to Megan. It was random. We were going with a friend of Medico. Shout out to Medico. And it was his birthday. And I was living in San Antonio at the time. And Medico wanted to go and have his birthday in Austin. He wanted to go down to 6th Street. He got a hotel room and stuff like that. So we're like, all right, cool. So I was like, yeah, man, can I get a ride? Because I don't want to drive. He was like, yeah, you can ride with me. We're taking my friend's car. Or I'm driving my friend's car. Megan was the friend. So I was like, all right, go ahead. Medico's driving her car and Megan's sitting in the seat and I'm in the back. And if I'm not driving, I'm asleep. Like if I'm not driving a car, I'm asleep every time. So I hop in the back seat and pass out. We stop off in San Marcos at a Chili's, just outside San Marcos, to go wait for everyone because everyone's not there. So I go walk in the Chili's, sit at the bar to have a drink, and Megan sits right next to me. And football game's on, so I'm watching the football game, still kind of waking up, so I'm not really talkative. And she starts talking to me, and she says, who's your favorite football team? And at that time, well, my team's the 49ers. And at that time, the 49ers were not good. They were not a good team. I was like, man, you know what? My team is trash. Da-da-da. She's like, yeah, my team's not very good either, but what's your team? I was like, man, my squad's the 49ers. She was like, oh, that's my team too. I was like, word? She's like, all right. So we started talking a little bit. And then she's like, what about basketball? Who's your basketball team? I was like, I don't really like teams. I like players. And I just follow the player. She's like, oh, okay. I understand. So who's your player? I was like, Kobe Bryant, hands down. She's like, that's my favorite player too. I'm like, word? So then we get back into the car. We go to Austin. We talk a little bit more like during the night, but she ends up getting sick before we actually like go out. So she stays in. We go out, celebrate Medico's birthday, have a good night, come back. And then the next morning we go to eat before we head back to San Antonio. So we go to this place to eat, and they have a buffet, and they also have regular food. Mm-hmm. And the people that we're with, they're kind of bougie. And they go ahead and they just order regular food, but the regular food was the same price as the buffet. Mm-hmm. So I get up and I'm like, I'm about to go get this buffet. And Megan's like, yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. So we go together to go eat the buffet while everyone else orders food. And then that was it. Like, we didn't talk again for a while. Mm. And then like met Facebook friends and stuff like that, but that was about it. But then it was a little while later. She posted something about video games, and if you know me, man, that's it. Like, video games are it. So I slid in the DMs. I was like, man, what do you know about these? What you know about video games? We started talking, and then I think like Angela, like we went out to eat sometime or something like that, and we went out to eat a couple times after that, and she came over one night and she never left.
Cool.
So, yeah. And here we are, 5 years later?
Yeah.
Wow. The time goes by so fast.
Very quick.
It does.
And it seems like the older you get, the faster it goes. And now you guys have little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
It was something that Mom said. She was like, where you guys are your parents' age, and now we're your guys' age.
Yeah.
And
We're grandma.
Come on, man.
And it's unbelievable. You know, I can't. It isn't that I never thought that I'd live to be the age. was just, you know, people say, "How old are you?" I'm 67. Really? And I'm like, yeah, really. And it just seems like yesterday that we were, you know, me and your mom were in high school together.
Yeah.
Just goes quickly.
Very fast. That's one of the things I try to tell my students. I go ahead and teach them the fact that time is much greater than money.
It is.
Like, time is the most valuable thing ever.
You can't buy time.
You can't. And you never get it back.
Yeah.
It stops for no one. You never get it back. You can always get more money. Money comes and money goes, but your time does not.
Yeah, that's what I told my students. I said, I got money. I said, but my time is running. And my plan is to be here to 120. Your mom doesn't want to be there that long. If anything ever happened to her, I'd be ready.
Yeah.
I've done just everything that I can think of that I've wanted to do almost. When I finish this PhD, I'll be done.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but I think that's neat where you're at a point where, I mean, you've done it. You know what I mean? I feel like so many people pass away with stuff that's still in them. Stuff that they want to do, you know, or even dreams, right? Stuff that, oh man, I wish I should have, you know. And that was the thing with me. I never wanted to pass away with that.
yeah.
I mean, I wish I should have tried, or I should. Nah, I'm gonna just do it, man.
Go for it.
We'll just go all the way in. So,
And you know, it's interesting because for me, I've turned down stuff that was people would
come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
kill to have.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a good life. It's been really neat, and no regrets.
That's awesome.
I married the girl I wanted to marry, and I did the job I wanted to do, and it's been good. Mm-hmm. Really good. Done everything I wanted to do.
That's good, man.
And we planned it from when we were together. She was in the 10th grade. I was in the 11th grade. We planned it all, and it worked out fine.
It worked out fine.
Yeah.
Any other questions you got? No?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, man. Sounds good. So this will be another episode of Humble Talks with my dad and my brother in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got to go ahead and pack this stuff up so I can get on the plane.
Yeah.
Because the line's going to be crazy.
It is. It is definitely going to be crazy.
All right. Thank you, guys. Go ahead. Like, subscribe, comment, share it with somebody. See you guys later.